currently I'm working on SAP.
Okay.
I do have experience with some other reporting tools, and um, basically based on the database side.
Great.
No experience on Java at all, or had done very little programming in the school days.
Okay.
Now, getting into Hadoop, so need to understand Java a little bit. We'll
Okay.
see.
Yeah. Yeah, Nikunj.
Hi everyone, this is Nikunj and I also work in the reporting world. Currently I'm working on SAP Business Objects. I have worked on a couple of reporting tool and some RDBMS,
Okay.
and I don't have any knowledge of Java as well, so I'm relatively very new to Java.
Okay. Thanks. Ravi.
Hi, this is Ravi here. I have previous 4.5 years experience on mainframes and database side actually.
Okay.
Currently, I'm pursuing a master's in computer science, so I have quite a fair experience on Java.
Okay. Thanks.
That's it.
Yeah. Shri.
Hi guys. See, like I'm a database administrator. Like total about 15 years experience. Work primarily with Oracle and like all surrounding technologies. Oracle. Uh, Familiar with Unix and Oracle and
Shri,
yeah.
Shri, we can hear the TV noise.
That's not in my house.
It's not in your house.
I'm not here. I'm not even. I can't hear anything. No
You
background
cannot.
noise. It's okay, Sri.
So, did you guys hear or?
No, I'm not.
Even I cannot hear.
Okay, are you able to hear now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. I mean, like I am a database administrator with about 15 years total experience. Familiar with Unix and Linux and like primarily with all the technologies surrounding Oracle. So middleware and like Unix and Oracle databases, apps. Like that's my core strength. I've also worked on some replication products and tools. Um, Programming, yeah, I've done like out of interest. Like I've learned it like like when I was in school, like 15 years back. I got myself certified in Microsoft .NET, and I've also done core Java training. So, and I have done like a lot of C programming and C++ programming in college. So and like a lot of SQL, PL/SQL tuning the last 15 years. So I can understand like like the programming, like the code and logic and all those things. I don't know Java per se. Like how to like just make a jar and transport it, and like how to ship it with like the JDK or like the SDK or whatever, like the whatever the JDK, SDK, GRE. I don't know all this one as.
Okay.
And the whatever the framework to develop, because like when I learned Java, like it is primarily using like like all typing, like public create, public static void, and like some class and like objects and things like that. So apparently like after that like like we got like new frameworks where you just need to type the main code kind of a thing. So that's like like briefly about my experience so far.
Yeah. Thanks, Sri. So I think now I'll start. So are you able to see my screen, the PPT I have shared?
Yeah, I mean, like in case we are not able to see anything, we'll let you know. Okay.
Sure. Great. So, so this course is for the Java fundamentals. So, what I'll try to cover here from the basic for the beginner, and I'll take you to the advanced level of the core Java. I'll try to cover everything in the core Java. So you understand from how to write a simple program, and then how to write a complex program in collections after the end of this course. So, thing I'll going to cover in this course is like the basic programming, the understanding of JVM. Then we'll start with the Hello World program. Then we'll try to cover what is Eclipse and STS. Then language fundamentals. Then we understand how control flow, exception handling, and extension work in Java. Then we'll go through the OOPS concepts. That's very much important in Java. Then the second most important is the object lifetime. So what is an object and how object work, the lifetime of an object. So guys, are you expecting to understand thread also? So I can cover this also, threading part. That's a little complex, but I'll cover it once we have time. Then the fundamental classes in the Java, like inner classes and the static classes. And the last and the final is the collection. So when you go learn about Hoop and any other framework, so the collection and map is very important, and you will understand collection and map once the object concept is clear to you. So that's all I'm going to cover in this course. So please let me know if you want to cover other things in the course. I'll try, like creating jar and everything. That's I'll cover. Is there anything you are expecting?
No, that sounds good. I don't know if anyone of us knows more than
Yeah.
Sure.
We don't know what
we
is
know anything about this.
Okay, great.
I was about to ask you, is this for today's class or is it for
No, it's whole it's I think it's complete 1 month course. It's not for today class. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amit,
Yeah.
like, as I told, right? Bhavik and we are like really new to this.
Sure,
Whatever
sure.
it
Don't worry, don't worry. I'll as already told that I'll start with the Hello World program, and so I'll.
is. So, if something is missing, right? Like probably like guys like Nikunj and Ravi, like they should pitch in. Okay.
Sure, sure.
No, yeah. Me and Bhumika, we are both in the same boat.
Oh, okay.
Don't
pretty
worry.
much, yeah.
Yeah.
So even Amit say that, okay, I'll cover only basic programming, we will be happy with that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So guys, the Java I think is the world most easiest language, and so you will understand why once the course is complete. It's very easy in comparing to C, C plus or other language in the world. So I'll start with the so what's my intention is that we do more programming and there's less theory. I'll go with the less PPT slides and we'll try more program. And I think the best way to learn any programming language is to just programming. And so because you'll get all the slides and everything on the online. So what's the main aim of here is here that let's do programming and debug programs and find any issue and try to resolve them. That's the best way to learn any programming language. So why Java is the easiest language? So I'll try to some basic concept I'll tell you. So you need to understand what is abstraction here. So abstraction is something hiding complexity. So I'll give you some background. Suppose have you any of you work in the assembly language? And
No.
no, okay, fine. So assembly language.
That's
Yeah.
8085,
Yeah, great,
8086.
great. So what is assembly language? It's a kind of an abstraction. So it's work as abstraction. Suppose you want to give some instruction to the machine, so you just know about the 8080 language or assembly language, and you insert the commands, and the computer will understand. So you don't have to go inside the computer and write in bit by bit. So you have kind of abstraction layer. But assembly language is quite complex. Then people has tried to develop what is the new language like C, C plus. So they are the one more layer on that assembly language. So one more abstraction layer on the above the assembly language. But the problem with the C, C plus plus is that, so suppose you have any real-time world problem and you want to solve them. So you have to map all the real-time world problem into the context of the C, and then the C will convert into assembly, and then assembly understand by your machine. So there is complete business industry is driving on the mapping on between the real time problem with the C. So the mapping is very complex. So sometimes it's not easy to map a real time problem with the C language or structure of the C language, and it takes huge time. So the development, because of that, development become very, very complex. So what Java has done? So Java has done try to put element into the program itself. So understand that so what is element here? So Java thinks, everything is an object here, and they put an object in the in here. There's a concept. So like you have an object, so that is most important thing in the Java. So what is an object here? So object is kind of, everything which have an state, an identity, and a behavior. So take any real-time example. Suppose you have a bag. So it's is an object in concept of Java. So what you are doing, you have a problem to solve, how to carry a bag, or something like that. So uh, bag is an object, and is an state. So state mean it's a is bag color, or it's a size and shape, and it contains something. So you have something in your bag like ball, or any other item. So it contains something. And what is behavior of that object? Suppose you kick the bag, and if it's hard, it will hurt you. So you expect some behavior from an object. And is an identity also, mean that it's a black color, and it won't change, something like that. So what Java is trying to do, it try to convert look everything into an objects, and object interact with each others, they communicate each others, and they try to solve the problem we are having. So like when you go to the ATM, right, and you withdraw the money, so what you do? So you when you write a program in Java, so you try to think everything in the concept of object, like customer in an object, ATM machine in an object, and your card in an object, and they interact each others. They transfer message to each other, they share message to each other, and try to solve your problem. So like I'm a customer and I'm an object. So I'll do, I'll give the message to machine objects, and I withdraw the money. So that's why. So you can see this, you are trying to map all real world object into the programming language. So that is the main advantage of Java here. So is there any doubt on that? Because if you understand this concept of object in Java, so it's pretty easy for you to move forward. You understand what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, I think we're getting there.
Yes.
great. So what is Java? So Java is programming language which based on C, C++. So the main advantage of Java, you can write program on any system, and you can run anywhere. Like you write program on your Windows machine, or your Linux machine, or your Mac, and you can run anywhere. And Java run on virtual machine, the JRE. So I'll explain what is JRE, and it's very similar to C Sharp. The people who work, so they understand C Sharp copied from Java, so there is no point telling that. And it's near to purely object-oriented programming language. So what is purely object-oriented programming language is that, so everything treated in any language in concept of Java is called purely object-oriented programming. But in Java, there is some primitive things which are not treated as object, so that we say that it's nearly purely object-oriented programming language. And the thing, the statical type. So I'll when we move further, then we understand what do you mean a statical type. But here I'll tell you. So when we compile a code, so everything's compiled at runtime, compile time. So everything is converted at the compile time. So it kind of a statical binding at the compile time. That's all, and it's a kind of platform. So that's the basic of Java. So I'll give some history of Java, how it started and who has started that. So Java is started by the James Goldstein in the Sun Microsystem, and it started in January 23, 1996. So we have some version of the Java here from 97 to 2011, and now Java is acquired by Sun, acquired by the Oracle system now. So now the Oracle own all Java, and like Java 8 is developed by Oracle, and it's most feature is paid, and some features are free in the Java. So all Oracle, all Java 8 is developed by Java Oracle only. So that's history of Java. Now we understand how Java code works. So whenever we write any program in Java, we'll try to compile it using compiler, and when it compile it, so uh, that it convert Java code into the byte code, and then your byte code will be understood by the virtual machine. So you, I think you must hear that everybody say that Java is platform independent language, but is not 100% true, because if you want to run on Windows system, so you must have to have the JRE for that Windows system, and if you want to run on the Mac system, you have a specific Java virtual machine on that system, and so you have different virtual machine for different operating system, and that the virtual machine is to work between your operating system and your byte code. So I'll compile my code and I'll give you the virtual machine for a specific operating system. Suppose I compile here and give it to the Mac. So Mac have a virtual machine which understand the byte code and execute the program. Similarly, they're like in Windows, and here's other Linux operating system. So that the concept here is so this is the concept here. So you need to understand what is virtual machine here first. So I hope you understand what is virtual machine. Virtual machine is nothing, it's just read your byte code and run your Java program.
What is a bytecode?
So bytecodes, I'll show you. So when you run your program, it's convert into the bytecode. So the bytecode, help Java to become platform independent. So it convert every program into the bytecode. In C, you convert program into exe. So it's kind of machine language, a machine level language to understand by the machine only. So you write some program like you write class, and you write some method in system output, something like that, and when you compile it, it convert it to the bytecode. I'll show how bytecode look like.
So in this case, I mean, this JDK is called virtual machine or JR is virtual machine?
Yeah. So JR is your virtual machine, and JDK is help developer to build the Java program. So JDK is something to help you write a program and compile a program. Once your program is ready, is run by the Java virtual machine. So try to understand difference between JDK and JRE. So generally now you will get JDK. We have GRE inside the JDK, but JDK try to help to develop program. When you write a program, you get some compile time error. You understand there is some error here. So here JDK will help you to write a program. But once your program is ready, so how you will run that program? So for that you need a JRE, that is called virtual machine. So you can say that JRE is an implementation of a virtual machine.
What is the SDK?
SDK Java development toolkit. So it's have all the it will give you the tools which help you to develop the program. And JR is a Java runtime environment.
So what is the difference between JDK and SDK?
JDK Java SDK is software development toolkit, and Java is JDK JDK is a Java development toolkit.
So
The same
they are
thing.
completely different. They are not related.
They are same thing. SDK and JDK is short form, you can say.
They are same thing.
Yeah.
Yes, for .NET also, I mean, for VB.NET also we can use the SDK. I mean, SDK is basically like a software development kit that apply to any software.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Then what about JVM and JRE? JRE you said is a virtual machine.
JR is Java runtime environment, and JVM is Java virtual machine. So you can say that JRE, you need to have an implementation for JVM. So you can implement some way. So JR is in a kind of implementation of JVM.
Okay.
So
So
basically JVM and JRE, they are kind of
Yeah, same.
they are kind of virtual machine for Java.
Yeah.
okay. Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Anything else?
So in these three link that you sent, what is the last part? STS.
STS, yeah. It's you know about Eclipse.
No.
Okay, STS, so STS is something, right? Is an editor where you write your program and run your program and you create a program. So as someone has said that in the last days we write program in Notepad, it's not very easy because you every time you face some compile time error. So I'll show you what is STS. So I think can you see my screen? So this is your STS. Here we write
Okay.
our program.
Okay. It's
Okay,
basically a Java editor.
yeah, Java editor.
Okay.
So in the Eclipse and STS, two kind of Java editors. So I'll prefer to use STS because it will give advanced Java libraries and everything you need. So STS is some little bit better, but it's heavy. But I prefer that you'll start with the STS only. It's good to have to make a custom yourself with the STS.
So not Eclipse.
Yeah, instead of it is a flavor of Eclipse. You can say STS is a flavor of Eclipse, and it's some have more functionality of Eclipse.
Okay. I mean, I hear a lot of people talk, using Eclipse. That's why I was just wondering.
Yeah, yeah, you can say the Eclipse have different version and STS one advanced version of Eclipse. So it's very specific to your Spring and other things, and it's provide more shortcut which Eclipse don't have. So that's why I'm telling that you start with STS. You can start with the Eclipse, no issue, but STS better because it provides some shortcut will make your development little bit faster, and it provide inbuilt libraries, so you don't have to download more libraries for Spring. Uh, the advantage of STS here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's try to write a first program in Java. And let's see how it's work.
You have a Windows virtual machine?
Yeah, I have my Windows virtual machine. So can you see my screen? Yeah, not here. Just a minute, I'll minimize it. I hope you can see now.
Yeah, we can see. I mean, we were able to see
Yeah.
before as well.
So before writing program, you need to set your JRE as in your environment variable here. When you click on the properties file, and goes advanced system. So you have environment variable here. So you need to set two things here. One is your Java home. So you can see Java, and I have given the path till bin file. So this is your JDK here. It will help me to develop my program here. So I need to give this path. So if you don't set this environment variable, whenever you try to run your STS or Eclipse, it will say please set your JDK path.
But isn't it by installing JDK it will automatically create this environment table, or we have to create it manually?
We have to create it manually. So
Okay.
we need to give this path and location because your system variable don't know where your JDK will get installed. So we need to specify explicitly.
Okay.
And if I'm using Mac, what is the other?
Yeah.
Is there
So
something
the
different?
Mac, I'll show you. You need to do you have bash profile here?
I have no idea.
Okay. So I'll show you on Mac because I have Mac. So
We can. I mean, I don't want to hold everybody up, so we can
So-
take it offline.
yeah, I can show you in the short very
I mean, that's okay, Bhawmik. We can also see, I mean, in case if we need to use Mac somewhere.
yeah, that's great. So here I'll show you the folder.
Shiri knows how to get Mac for everybody.
So here's my user ID is Kumar AM. When you go, so in your user folder you have the user ID Kumar AM. So it might be you have Bhawmik, something else. So go into your user, click open that file, and here you need to create your bash profile here. You can see, and I'll open that file. Just a second. So you can see there's a file name .bash_profile. Okay.
Going to user folder.
And
from the search.
okay, how to go to user folder? Click on Finder, go to click on go to folder, and write user.
Go to folder and then user. Okay.
U capital SER. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go. Then you find your username.
User find.
So
Okay.
you can see some symbol like home.
Yeah.
Just click on that folder.
I got to the users already.
Yeah, great. So you need to create one file inside that user. The file name would be the dot bash profile, bash underscore profile.
Okay. I think it might exist already. Under the users or under?
And inside user you should have your username like Bhomik or something, and you find one symbol with icon with home icon. Are you able to see? Yeah. Just open that.
No, there is no home icon. I'm sorry.
No, you will not find home. It's okay. So can you show me your screen?
Maybe Bhomik, you will find your laptop name. I mean, what is your computer name there?
Okay. I can share. No problem.
Bhomik, or what's the name you have given?
Hold on. Let me. How to share here? Okay. Here you go. Share. Am I sharing?
Okay.
No.
Can't see.
Yes. I am lost in the screen. Am I sharing now?
No.
No.
You are screen sharing. Oh, there. Oh, because my screen is big here. Okay. Okay. There, now I'm sharing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can see here.
So I'm here.
And you can see. So in which folder you are?
Bhomik.
Bhomik folder. Yeah. Click open that folder. Yeah. Now you need to create one file here. The file name is dot. Dot means our header file in the your operating system in Mac, and you need to create one file named the dot bash profile.
Okay.
The file name is bash underscore profile.
I never seen why I don't get a new file and all that option. Right here?
No, actually in Mac it won't work like that. You should have some kind of editor, and in editor you just write whatever you want, then save as your file, then it will work.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'll do that.
Bhomik, copy one notepad file there.
Yeah, I'll do that. We can go on.
Okay, fine. So
Yeah.
well, we move forward. So once our this environment variable is set, so what we can create our first program in here. So let's try to create our first program. So this is the main thing. So I'll say notepad test.java. Then my notepad is open here. So I'm trying to write my first class in Java. So I need to specify public class. The name of the class name should be the name of the file I have given. Okay. Then I'll start public static void main here. I specify.
So it has to be the same name.
Yes.
Class name should be same as the file name.
Yeah. Else it will give you error. Then you have to provide some argument here.
Maybe Amit, you can increase the font of your notepad.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
What is a class?
Yeah. So class is kind of type here, So you understand the concept come the class in Java only. So like you have a class which represents the class of birds. Like so class is kind of blueprint and it help you to create an object and it's kind of type. So you like I'll explain later. So at this point you will understand just class because class you if you understand what is class and object you understand Java. So I'll explain it later.
I see. Okay.
It's very important to understand what is class. So let's understand this is kind of syntax where your Java loader will load your class. So you need to specify your class. So you might be understand what is data type like integer, float, and like string.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
so class is custom type of custom data type. You can say that you can create any custom type of data which is not provided by the language and you create yourself. Like in integer you can store only integer, in float you can store float, but in class you can create a custom data type. So class will help to create an object and it will store the data type you want to store. Okay.
Okay.
So are you able to create this program?
Oh, we didn't.
Okay, sure. I'll move forward then. Then I have created this. So we need to specify the class with the public here. So all the outer class are public here, and this then we need to give the name of the class here. The syntax for the class is you need to specify class, and the name of the class test should be the name of the file you have given here. Then you have one method which is called public static void main, and it has to have this syntax. And if the syntax could change, your Java would understand where to start your program. So you can say this is a start point for your program. So when your JRE run, it will try to find this method and try to load try to start from this point here. And here system is your library and it will help to print everything on the screen. So we'll go in deep inside. Let's see how it's worked. So but for time being you understand to start my program I need to have public static void main and with the following syntax only. So I have created this program.
With always string, you mean?
Yeah, you need to follow this.
Okay.
Okay.
And what if we have a multiple public class? Still we can give a same name. Like if I add another public class, then I can give a name like test again or something different.
Okay. You
or
can
one program
only
cannot have two public class.
right. One program can have multiple public class, but a program we can have only unique name. You cannot have the public class test one test. You can have like public class test one, test two, test three. Okay.
In the same file.
In the same file, yeah, you can. I can create one more file inside that, but there is a but you need to have different name.
But at least one public class should have a same name as file name.
Yes, that is important.
Okay, that's great.
So I have created this class. Now I want to compile this class. So here the Java C is compiled. That the JDK is coming in the picture here. So JDK is compiling your file here. So when I run Java C, this is a compiler. Then when I press enter, my classes get compiled here. Okay. So now this is the everything you can read, understand. It is readable to human. But now when compiler run this program, it's converted into the bytecode. So when I go and see in the directory, I can see the something like the test.java class here. Okay. So when you open this file, you find some some character, some special machine language. It is not readable to human eye. So because that is converted to the byte class, and the byte class is understand only by the JRE. Okay. So when we run our program, so I just need to specify my class name here, test, and it will get run. You can see hello world. Okay. So this.
So I mean, we can get this interface only when we install the JDK or JRE.
JDK, because your JDK contains JRE inside, so you need to specify JRE in your environment variable.
Okay. Because JRE usually, I guess, all systems have a JRE
Yeah.
because it uses some kind of browser component.
Yeah, but I think you need to install explicitly on your machine if you don't have JRE.
Okay. Okay. And then install JDK.
JDK, and then you have to specify. You have to go into the environment variable. Okay, then you have to set your environment variable. Like I have.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So when we download this JDK, I mean there is a
Amit, can you show that environment variable again, please?
Yeah, sure. You go here.
And if I have the JRE, it is enough for me to run that program, right?
Yeah, but for write the program, you have to have JDK.
Okay.
So here in your home, you need to specify your. You can see that I have given the name of Java Home,
Okay.
and I have to specify where my JDK installed till bin.
Okay. If I have like different versions of Java, then how does it work?
You can work on any version, but you need to make sure your Java JRE version and the JDK version must be same. So like here, when I specify Java minus version here, I can see that my Java version is 1.7.065,
Right.
and then when I run Java minus C version here, you find you have the same version here. And if you find different version, it could produce some problem for you. You have write a program from other version and you try to run your program on other version. That is not good.
Okay.
So you must have the JRE and JDK the same version. Okay. So one more thing you need to set here, like I'll specify. Where is the properties? And go. One is Java Home. Other thing you need to specify. Go into your path here and edit. And you need to give. Already you must have some variable here. So you need to specify JDK path here with the semicolon here, and you need to give the path where your JDK is stored. I'll ping that. What is the path here on my machine? This is path on my machine. I ping on the group chat. Okay. So if I remove this path, and you can see when I give the Java command here, I understand that Java is set in the environment variable. But if I remove that path the value from the path, you'll not get this command working here. Understand? Okay. So this is most important thing. You need to understand how to set your environment variable with the JDK and JRE. So now we'll try to understand how our class loader work. When you give the command, how Java understand I need to load this file, I need to run it. So how it work? Okay. So in Java we have a loader here. You understand? So when you give command like Java, the class name, what happened at the time? So at the time the Java class loader come into the picture, what they do, they try to read the bytecode and run the bytecode, mean the class, into your environment and try to get the output from the class. So that's important to understand, because if you don't understand what is a class loader, you won't understand how your JRE is able to run the class and how your class get loaded into the JRE. So that class loader come and it pick the class you specify and it run into your JRE system. So that's the work of the class loader to load the file into JRE. So by default you can see we have three type of class loader. So one is your bootstrap class loader. So by default, when the what you need to understand one thing. Suppose you specify your one class, only you have single name of the class. Suppose I create the test class, and if I try to load another test class, it won't work. You can have only one and only one class in a GRE with the same name in the same package. Okay. So what happened when I give the command Java the class name? So GRE try to load here. So first I'll show the delegation here. You understand? So there's three type of loader here. One is bootstrap loader, extension loader, and then application loader. So the first command goes to the application loader. So it won't load your file. So it will understand that you have given the command to load test file here. So it requests to its parent. The parent is the class loader here. Then it won't load your class here. It delegate your request to its parent class, the bootstrap loader. So the bootstrap loader is the base class. You get the super class of every class. So we don't have parent for this class here. So what bootstrap loader is to do here, it try to find any class name with the test class name, but it won't able to find. Suppose then it delegate request to the extension loader, please help me to find the class. And if my extension loader not able to find that class, it finally come to the application class loader, and it definitely find the class because you guys specify the class name, and it will load the class. So this is the way all the class loaders work. So what is bootstrap loader and the extension loader? So what bootstrap loader is some, every Java virtual machine have some default class you need to load to support some things. So you need to by default load some base class, some important class, which is stored in the rt.jar file. So bootstrap loader load all the basic files, right? And this necessary for JRE. And after that there is an extension loaders. So we don't have we have some more files which is specified in the extension loader, and it will load the file. So you try to understand this two extension loader and your bootstrap loader try to load some default files and libraries which is predefined, it's not created by you. An application load come into picture when you specify your class file here. Suppose what I do here, I write Java test 1 here. So what happened when I give this command Java test 1 here? So what happened in the background here? So the request goes to the application loader, and then application loader delegate request to the extension loader, then bootstrap loader, and it has tried to find test 1 here, but is not able to find. Then it delegate to this class, it's not able to find. Then it's delegated to test application loader class, and I think we don't have created the test 1 class, so it's not able to find here. Then you get the message here that could not find or load main class test 1. So that's the way the loader work in the Java. So hope you understand. Any query?
No, I understood like how this thing works, but what is the point of that second class loader, application class loader?
Yeah, you distinguish your files. So like you might be have some file which is important for JRE, and some file like in Java you have some inbuilt library like mat.java, or some libraries you're given that already created by someone else and it's provided to JRE. So it divided your library, it distributes some classes in two parts. So it helped to load the class very fast. So that's the important thing. So you have different type of class here, and you have other different type of class. The purpose of this class here is provide some extra functionality, and the purpose of the class inside the class boot class loader is very important. You need to have this class. So they have created extension. You can understand extension of the file. I have some feature, and I want to do more feature, that is called extension class loader. So this how the Java class loader you created. So the class loader will install all the file defined into the rt.jar file. So in the Java you have concept called lib, so library concept. So in library you have some files created by someone, and you include some library. So I'll show you example. Suppose you in your class, you created a class test, and I want to use some library, and the library is created with someone else that calculate the distance from Earth to Sun. So you include this library in your file. So that's go inside the Java library things. Okay. You will understand what is library here. I'll explain you, but library is something like the predefined class which help you to solve some existing problem, and you don't need to create the class for yourself. So there is some complex calculation, right? So, and you could use directly already built libraries in your program. So hope you understand.
Yeah, I mean, like I can understand the thing, but if you could show an example for that extension class loader and the usage of the already available libraries, that will be like very helpful.
Okay.
But conceptually, I think like everybody here can understand what you're saying.
Yeah, well, currently, so the point is that I need to open the jar and everything, but I'll explain. Then in JDK, when you run JDK, you should have some default files would help to run, like some system file. So you can see that system.output file. So this is in the bootstrap. You need to have this kind of file. Okay. This.
What is the difference between the binary and the library then?
So binaries, library is your file. You have created a files called in library here, right? So binaries you converted. So binary is different, library is different. Library where you create your all the files, and you have already existing file here. And in binary you find exe command here. So we to run, try to run. So when you see Java C, this is inside your binary file. I'll show you just a second.
No, I understand that. I'm asking like in general, like in any software, right? You have the bin files you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have the bin there and you have the live there,
Yeah.
right?
So here in bin, you can see that. Like I'll show you the explains. Can you see the bin file here? This all our binaries file. So it will give you help to run your program. Like it's provide you commands here. So when I to run a class, I need to give the Java C. So I need to come to this binary file, and this binary file help to run my class file. And what is library here? Library is some already build files here, like Java console, JVM lib. So so you need to load some database drivers that you find in your library file here.
Okay.
What in? So can we move forward?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying here, I'm trying to write some basic program here, and when we go in detail, I'll take everything like what is library and how to create jar. But my point is here, let's understand the basic first, because if you try to understand all things at once, might be it will confuse you. So that's my understanding. Just try to consider the basic first, and then we'll go and we understand all the difference. What is JIT? What is lib? What is bin? So I'll take one by one. Okay. So first try to understand very basic concept here. So now we have created our program in Notepad here. So it's very sometime. Suppose if I miss some column here. So like this one here, I miss semicolon and at the end of the file, and when I run this here, so this is the bin here. Java C, and when I run here, I'll get an exception here that the semicolon is not there. So when I compile it, only at the time I can understand there is an exception here. So that's why people are using the IDE editors, which help you to develop your application fast. So here I'm using the STS. So mm, are you able to see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see the how easy we can create a class in STS here. So just right click. So first we will need to create a project here, new, specify new project. So my first project. Now in the project you need to create your class here. So new, your class here. You need to specify your class name, test1. So when you specify your class name here, and if you don't specify the package name, so it will goes into the default package, and Java will recommend that you should have to create package here. So package is something like you create some directory uh, in your system, and in the specific directory you can have special files. So suppose you have utility file like calculator, you all the file related to the calculator like sum, minus and everything, you create all the file in a different package. So you distinguish your files using the package. So so that's why the package come here picture. So you have some other files for the service file. So you create different package for the service file, and you store all the files in the service package here. So currently suppose I don't give any package here, it will goes into the default package. I have to specify, and I can mention that please create public static void main method for me. So when I click on it, it finish. You will find that it's already created a public static void main method for you here. Okay. When now I just have to run, so I'll specify. There is some shortcut here like sys out. It will take itself. Hello world. Now right click on it and run. You'll get hello world here. Okay. So you understand that everything is coming here in the red color. They are the words reserved by Java. You cannot use the word in your program here. It's like public, class, static, void, main. So you cannot use like word public or static or void. So they are used by Java here. They are reserved by Java. They are keywords for the Java. Understand? So now my question is there. Suppose instead of public static, if I write static public here, will it work? Any guess?
No idea.
Okay. So the sequence of public statics doesn't matter, but you should have to name public and static at one main. And if you change now, you can just what I say, you just create this program and try to do as many as changes in the program and try to see when it work, when it not work. What will happen? Suppose I'll create two program here, two method here. What will happen in that case? So your Java compiler will not allow you create the same method name again. So you get the compile time error at this time. Okay. So you can play around with this, and I'll ask some question on this the next time. So what is important here and what is not, and main is your not your keyword, but it is important in this context here, because when your class loader come, it will try to find uh, method name with the main with the arguments this, and it will try to call this method first. This is the entry point for your class here.
So you can also write static public main void like that. It doesn't matter.
Main void, no. So this is your method name here, right? So void could be so understand. So whatever come here is your method name, and void mean is a return type. You understand, your method is returning here. Suppose void mean your method is not returning here. I'll display here. So when you create your method, public int test, right? You can see that I'm getting a compile time here because I have told this method, the method name is test. So your method name should be main here. You cannot put your method name void here. It won't work.
Okay.
Main is your method name, and void is the return type. So what your method is returning here? So your method is not returning here. Suppose I have specified int, so my method should return some integer here, 1. So you can see that compile as error is gone here, and if I try to return something here, you can see that I'm trying to return something here, but my method does not ask for that. My method is expecting nothing here.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And public mean, okay. So public mean any class can access. It is public to everyone. Okay. Suppose I'll do one thing here. Instead of public here, there is some access specifier: public, private, default, and protected. Hope you heard about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, in the world of securities, public, private.
Yeah. Suppose if this is an access specifier, mean that public mean anyone come and invoke this method outside of this class, and if you try to create private here, what will happen in this case? If I try to run, then what will happen? So you can see that my compiler not able to get me that run option here, because you're not able to invoke this method here. Okay, so you must have public here. So when I save it here, you can see I can see the run Java application here. Okay, so you understand the meaning of void, you understand the meaning of public, and this morning what is static? What is static here? So any idea what is static here? So I'll explain in the term of real world what is static here. So suppose you have one main copy of your marksheet, and this is a is original copy of a marksheet, and you go into Xerox machine and you can take out as many of Xerox copy. So this means you are creating the object of your copy. So suppose the marks in you have 4 fields in your mark sheets. One is for English, one is for math, and one is for science, and you have marks here, and you have created the 10 copy. So everyone can individually work on the 10 copies and change the value of the marks on the hard copy, and it does not reflect anywhere. So that is called instance or object variable. So it is different for every new object. Okay, so try to understand this is instance option. What is static? Suppose somehow that some field, if you change in any of so I'll make some magic here, and what I'll do, I'll specify that my English variable is static here. So and you have 10 copy. So suppose me increase the value of English variable by 1, I'll assign other value, it will reflect into other fields. So that is static because it's common to every object, and it does not wait for a class to create an object. It's independent of instance. So if any of 10 copies you try to change the value, it will reflect into others copies. That is static. So it will generate before the class we created. Is it? Hope you understand what I'm trying to explain here.
Yeah, so in programming, if you were using static, I don't know, you said the values will change in all the class.
Yeah, static.
Getting lost a little bit.
Mean so the class is an object type. So when you create a new class, so every class contain its own variable, right?
Right.
And in sort variable, and suppose let's see here, I'll create my class here, public class test. Okay, test one. Okay, test one. So I need to create, just a second, I'll do one thing. Right, so this is a class here, and I've created two variable in the class. One is int I and one is static int ij. So now I have to create an object of this class. I'll go here and write my class name is equal to object of this class should be test1 and new. Okay, so this object is created. Now what I can do, this object will contain these two values, int I and int j. So, and I'll create another object here. Test1. So you can try to understand that test1 and test2 are two different objects, and they have the value of I10 and I10. So if I try to change, so it has own value, it has own copy. So, but the j is common between both of these objects. If you try to change value of j, suppose you'll create the getter setter of this file. Just a second. So now what I have done here, I have created two variables. One is int j and one is I, and I have created a getter setter for this method. So what is getter setter, I'll explain later, but this is a way outside of this class people can access this variable and can assign value to this variable and get the value of this variable. So when I created the object 1 and I try to set the value of 20, and when I set the value of 30 here, so it won't so there is no mutual overlapping between this change setting and this change setting. Both are unique, But if I try to change value of this j variable here, so if I change the value of j variable from here and I'll make it 30, it definitely reflects into other class. So static mean is independent of your instance of an object. So I'll show you. Even you not understand. First file, etc. So the point is here, I have created this static variable j and the value is 20 here, and I have created an instance of test1. I have set value of this j from the object test1, but when I'm trying to get the value using the object test2, you can see that updated value here, but I haven't make any changes in this variable using object 2. So that's a static here. Static mean it's independent of any object, and hope now it's clear.
Can you just like do a little slow, Amar?
Sure.
See here, like you are defining. You go to the other screen.
Yeah.
Test one Java.
Yeah. I'll start.
Yeah.
So here,
So you're creating a public class there, test one.
right.
You're defining one int I equal to 10,
Yeah.
and then you're telling. So you want to show us the difference between private and static. Is that what you want to do?
No, I want to show you the difference between a method, static and instance variable. So this is an instance variable. This is your specific to the class, and what is difference between static and instance variable? Okay.
So private is the instance variable. That's what.
No. It's not like this.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. What is the difference between like static and no static?
Yeah, that's what I'm explaining here. Suppose you have a class here, and I haven't given any value here. Assume that, right? I given.
No, that's fine. Like you give the value, like, and if you go back to the other screen, it will be one.
Yeah.
So you're defining like I equal to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I equal to 10, and j equal to 20.
Right.
Okay. Go to test.java.
So by default, your value is I is equal to 10 and j is equal to 20. Now we'll go into test.java, and what I try here, suppose I'll put the value of I is equal to 30 here. Okay.
Okay.
And now I'll show you value of 5.
It's test one, right?
Yeah, is the class test1 here?
Yeah, but you're printing test two.
So that's what I'm trying to explain here. Key that I have created an object of this class test1. I have changed the value of I and j using test1 only. I have set value of I is 30 and j is 50. Only using test1. Okay.
In test two, you're setting to I equal to 30, right?
Okay, I just removed that thing. Okay.
Okay.
So what will happen in this case? So, can anyone please tell me what would be the expected output of this file here?
I would expect the j to not change because it was static.
Okay. And value of I? Because I haven't set any value of I here.
Yeah, value of I, like you just like set there like 10, but here you're resetting it as 30.
Yeah.
I think like it should go through.
No. So now we need to understand here, when we create an object of a class here, so object will create its own variable here, and there's a two type of variable. One is instance variable, one is static variable. Static variable is independent of object, is not dependent on the class object you have created, is not dependent of the test1 or test2, is dependent upon the class here. And the no instance variable like I is dependent upon the object here. So when you run it, so you will see the difference here. So you can say your j become 50 here because this is a static variable. If you change the value using any object, it will reflect into other object also because this is static here. Okay?
No. 1 minute.
Yeah.
So the I did not change the value and J changed the value.
Yeah. Why j change the value? Because j is static and is not depend on the class object. It's not depend upon this test1 object, is not depend on this test object. It's in a class level variable. It's in a class, it's work on the class level. It's not create new. So when you create new here, new mean every variable in the object is new here other than static here. So when I create new here, so my I value is new here. Suppose I put 300 here, is 300 only for this object test1 here. But when I try to get here, I'll get only the default value because I have created new instance variable here and which is value is 10 here. So new mean new. New instance variable will have only new values here. So it won't make any effect if I set value of I 300 here using this object. It won't get reflect into other object because this is instance variable. But
Okay.
your j is a static variable here, is new doesn't mean
Okay.
give you the new things here. It's an instance, it's common to everywhere. If you set 50 here and try to get using test2 here, you will get 50 there.
I got it. But what will happen like if you try to set test2 dot set j equal to 80?
Okay, so no problem, you will get the 80 there. So what I'll do here, now it will override here, right? So that's what I want, just create program and try to run yourself and try what you can do here. Now I can put 100, 200 here. So what would be the output expected here?
Yeah, I think like it'll be 200.
Yeah, because it will take the final change. It will take
If you
the,
put the print line above the test2, then it should come 50, right?
yeah, yes, sure. And now, right, yeah, that's you got it here. Now. So it will come 50. When you set here, it become 200. Okay.
Okay.
And now what you can do here, one more thing. Now again, using test1. If I'm using the test1 object here. If I again make it 50, so it will become 50 everywhere. Got it?
Yeah, that will come.
So that's the main important thing you need to understand. What is instance variable and what is static variable, because its concept is very important. You need to understand the programming language. Hope you understand. So anyone have any doubt on static and instance variable?
So, and you had the private there before, right?
Yeah. So
How will that come into picture?
okay, the private will come into the picture is like that. Suppose I haven't defined private here. So what I can do here, I just go test and I'll do one thing here. I'll show you. Test.I. So you can see, you can directly able to access the variable I here because I haven't specified that is private. Private mean you cannot access outside of this class here. So you can access here because I haven't specified private here. Suppose I'll put private here now. you will see exactly the compile time error. What is saying that I variable is not visible here.
Okay.
Okay, so you understand the concept of private, and you understand the concept of, by default it's taking the default access modifier. So when now I have created private here, and what I have done, I have created getter setter here. So this is a public method here, so I can, because this method is public, right? So I can directly access this method, and this method is public. I can set the value of I here because this method is public. I can invoke this method. So
Okay.
the this is the best practice. Whenever we create any variable, we create getter and setter. If you don't create a getter and setter, so anyone has control and they can modify the value of variable as they wish. Suppose I'll make it, you understand the advantage of getter setter here. I'll make it not variable, and now what I can do, I take test1 here, test1 dot I, and I can assign any value. There is no restriction on that. Okay, fine. But if I make it private here, no, I am not able to assign any value here, but I need to go through using the setter here if I want to assign. So I need to invoke setter method. I need to pass value 300 here, and whenever I pass the value 300 here, so it will come into this method, and here I can make a control here. Suppose if value is greater than 300, j is greater than 300, make it 10 only, whatever you set here. So you know, the getter and setter will help you to give some control, so it will not let your variable freely in other hand and they do whatever they want. You have the control using your getter and setter variable here. So that's the best way. Just create your variable private and just give their setter and getter outside the world and restrict them to the perform the variable as expected by you only. So you want that, you don't want any variable value greater than 300 here. So that's the advantage. So you are going, he need to set using the setter method here. Understand?
Yes. If can you go to the test.java for a minute?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm just like trying to like recollect what you just did.
Yeah.
So,
Suppose let's see what happened in this case. Now, I have put which value I have set j here, right? Instead of j, okay.
when I don't have the static
Yeah,
defined, right?
right.
I cannot even change the value of the variable, right?
You can change the value of a variable, no issue in that.
No, but when you go to the other screen,
Yeah,
when we in the first example when we did like test1 dot set I equal to 300,
right.
it still printed only 10, right?
No, we haven't tested. We haven't run that.
No, like the very first example, like when you
Okay,
see
okay,
here,
okay. So what? No. So what you are saying here? No,
now what I'm telling is like when we started off, if you look at the output down,
yeah.
hello world, many of
Just
Java,
run. I'll run it again now. Yeah.
okay. So
So
now
yeah,
you have set like set I equal to 300,
yeah,
but it's still like only 10.
yeah.
It is because like it is an instance wide parameter and like
No,
it
no,
takes.
it's not like that, because what I have done here, I have make the condition here that if value goes beyond the 300, I'll make it 10.
Okay, can you remove that condition, please?
Yeah. So if I remove this condition here and I make it j here, so I run it here. Okay. So
Yeah, I mean, like, just 1 minute.
just a second. You want to see 300
In
here?
the test1.java, right?
Just
We
a
have
second.
set I as 10 and J as, like something we have set. I don't know. I understood the concept of J very clearly.
Yeah.
Uh,
Just a second.
now I like, like we can. So there's no way I can take control from you, right? Can I take the control?
Let me. Is there any way?
Yeah, I don't think it's possible.
Okay.
Okay, so if you go to that screen,
Okay.
um, see, like the J is private variable. I mean, like it's a static variable,
Yeah.
and whatever you set, like
50.
in whatever like in the class,
Yeah.
it takes that value.
Yeah.
The other one, I,
Yeah.
you told like it's a instance level or a class level.
It's the instance level. It's instance level. So I have set value I is equal to 300. You can see the output is 300 here.
Okay, and if you set down I equal to 400,
Here. Okay. It will take 400 here. Suppose it will go here and I'll set it 400 here. And if again I'll print this value.
no, not there.
Okay.
Like test 2.
Test 2, okay. So test 2 there is no, so in test 2 when you set it to 400, so now I have to print using test 2 only instead of test 1 here. I'll get test 2.
It's getting some compilation error.
Done. Right?
Okay.
So I have set value of test 2 of variable 400, so I will get 400 here only. See, I have set 400, I'll get 400.
Yeah, then like what is the difference between like static and no static?
Static and non-static is here. Here is a test 1 value, right? Is a test 1 and I am setting value of test 1 here, and you can see the reflection of test 1 here into test 2 without making any change, right?
No, it changed. No, it changed to 400, right?
I am using okay, let's try to understand with the first we see the static, then we see the instance variable. Okay, fine, let's go once again. So you have you have a class test and you have a variable, one is static, one is non-static here, and you have two object of that class, one is test1 and another object is test2 here. Okay, now on the first object here we are setting value using test1 here. I have set the value using test1 is 50 here, but what the default value of here is 20. Now what I am trying here, I am trying to get value of value of j.
Yeah, get it like in both the places. Like,
No,
for test 1 and test 2, both you get.
just a second. First understand this, right? J. So you can see test. So here I have set value using test1 and I am getting value using test1. I am getting value of j here, test1. Okay. Now I am getting value of j here using test2. Okay. So you will see 50 value in the both place. You can see 50 here, 50 here, because it's a static variable, is independent of object. Got it?
Test 2, are you setting it here? Test
No, I am not setting here. I am not setting anywhere. You can see I am not setting anywhere in the test 2. I am just getting value here.
Oh, okay.
And I have set only in the test 1, but you can see the updated value in the test 2, because this is static variable.
Okay.
Okay, but I'll try to do same thing here. I'll set test 1 here, and for test 1 here, it's for I.
Value of I. Yeah, value of I can you change?
Just a second. Test 2. So
Can you change the J to I, please?
J to I, yeah, I make it right. So this is I here.
No. The value of JJ it is.
Okay, sorry. Now you will see here, I have set value I here, and I am getting here, but I haven't set any value here. So what you will get, you can see I value is 300 here and 50 value is 300 here for the test 1, and J value, you can see only 10 for the I value in the test 2 because it's an instance variable,
Okay.
and but you are getting 50 because the static variable is set by there.
Okay, I got it.
Alright.
Got it.
So I think it's, the time of our class is over, and is there anyone have any doubt? Bhomik, Ravi, do you have any doubt?
Still trying to grasp a lot of things.
Okay. So
I don't
what?
think I have
Yeah,
doubts today.
yeah. What I expect from you, right? So do one thing. Just try to make a simple class and try to understand what is static and what is instance variable. And then try to play over it. Just I have done here. Okay.
Okay.
So what I'll mail this class all of you.
Mhm.
I'll put in the chat here. So create this class.
Can you email, please?
Okay, I'll mail that. I'll mail the class and try to make changes in the both thing and see what happen. Because I'll go on the theory, and theory won't help you. You have to program and make the changes and see what's the difference you are getting. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
So any other feedback you want, I can work on that. Any specific direction you want that I'll cover more theory, or I'll come with the ready-made program next time.
Yeah, I mean, like we would really like to see, like an example. Like when you showed me this example, right?
Yeah,
Whatever you told, like it was very easy for me to understand.
yeah,
Like until like I saw this example, it was not like really, I was getting mixed up. I think it is the same case for everybody else here on the forum.
right. Sure. So next time definitely I'll come with the all example, and will go in more depth with all what is static, what is private, what is other variable, and how can we write different classes, how can we create the class and objects, how they are interact with that, and definitely I'll come with a more prepared example. Actually, I just want to cover only theory in this first meeting, but we have gone into that direction. That's good, but we have understand. Definitely, next time I'll come with the more example.
Okay. It sounds good.
Yeah,
Yeah. And if you can upload the slides, that would be great
sure. I'll upload. No issue.
for us to refer.
Yeah.
Anil would know where to upload unless you have another place. It's okay with us.
Sure. I'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. She's Thursday again.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Thanks.